I'm Muriel Bowser, and I wanted to just make a brief statement on the United States Attorney's investigation and the conclusion of that investigation into the death of Terrence Sterling. First, I want to convey again my condolences to the family of Terrence Sterling. It's certainly a tragedy and a loss of life in our city, and we want to continue to extend our condolences. I also want to just also restate that the U.S. Attorney decided today that there would be no charges filed in the death of Terrence Sterling. The United States Attorney, of course, is a federal prosecutor, and while we are not responsible and have no control over what the federal prosecutors do, we do, of course, control our policies and procedures for all district agencies and the Metropolitan Police Department. Our police department now that the U.S. Attorney's investigation has ended, will start its disciplinary review. It has 90 days to complete that review, and will decide that review will determine if policies were broken and what the discipline should be related to those policies. We, however, feel very strongly that our relationship with the community is built on trust, and trust is firmly built on accountability. And we believe strongly that there has to be accountability in this case. So as MPD starts its part of the investigation for discipline, it has also asked that the officer involved in this shooting submit his resignation. We will continue to, of course, follow all the administrative procedures that are required and continue to brief the community. But I believe very strongly that it is our responsibility to build the trust, to keep the trust of the community, and make sure we have a department that can be responsive to our community. I'm happy to take any questions.
Mayor Bowser, Officer Traynor and his partner did not activate their body cameras until after the shooting. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think from the moment that this incident happened, we made a very strong statement about our body cameras. I think you know that we have invested over $5 million last year in body cameras for all of our patrol officers. We have one of the most robust systems anywhere in the nation, and our system for accessing that footage is also robust. And I am now, as I was then, very upset that we didn't have the benefit of that footage to tell us what happened. We changed our policies following this shooting so that now all dispatchers, when they dispatch an officer to a scene, they confirm with that officer that the officer has activated his or her body camera.
Should Officer Traynor remain on the force?
We believe, and we have already, MPD has already reached out to his lawyers asking the officer to resign.
What about you? What do you think?
That is exactly what I think. And while we will have no ability to render a decision about a prosecution, that is firmly in the hands of the U.S. Attorney, it is our responsibility to make sure that our rules and procedures are followed. And if we have policies that are broken that lead to tragedy, there should be some accountability. And so we hope that the officer will agree.
Mayor, what about the second officer? Are you also calling for his resignation?
The second officer, actually, the U.S. Attorney made a decision about that officer some months ago, and that officer has gone through the administrative process. His case was referred through internal affairs to the excessive use of force review panel, which is part of our administrative procedure. They rendered a decision on that officer, and that decision was a suspension.
Do you expect that to change as a result of this process concluding with the U.S. Attorney?
Well, the U.S. Attorney some months ago on the other officer declined to prosecute. That's why his administrative procedure is already finished.
And isn't it true that, according to MPD policy, there should have been no chase to begin with? Is that something that you're concerned about as well?
We in the Internal Affairs Investigation and the Excessive Force Review Panel will look at any and all procedures that may have been broken. We've already stated, it's very clear and obvious that the body-worn camera policy was not followed. We do have a no-chase policy in the district. They will investigate that, as well as any other tactics that may have been unusual.
What do you say to the family who was disappointed, likely, with the decision of the U.S. Attorney?
Well, I had the opportunity shortly after the shooting last September to speak with the Sterling family. What I assured them of is that we would have a transparent investigation, that MPD would fully investigate. There has been an independent review, as you know, by the federal prosecutor, and this is what they determined the evidence would yield.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.